Pastor Bright.
The membership of the Resolutions Committee consists of Sylvia Lynn, Jerry Lynn, Pastor Scott, and another Pastor Scott. And the report is, whereas Sure.
Yay!
We say whereas a lot. Do you want to say whereas?
Okay, I can say whereas.
Okay, you say whereas.
Whereas.
I will.
Whereas.
You do it well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I will point to you.
Okay.
And you say whereas. We're going to practice, okay?
Okay. Whereas.
Okay.
Whereas.
Okay. And then anytime I point,
Whereas.
you have to say it.
Whereas.
Okay. Don't say other words. Those other words.
What?
That's another word.
All right. Whereas.
Okay.
Whereas.
We are just about at the end of Synod Assembly, and
Whereas.
there is a committee appointed to write a big, long sentence like this one with multiple
Whereas.
And
Whereas.
the committee has been diligently working on this report since 10:37 p.m. last night, and has worked very hard until well past their bedtimes, nearly an hour. And
Whereas.
the theme of this year's assembly contains actual words instead of just random letters and numbers, arranged like a dyslectic's vanity plate, like last year's theme. And
Whereas.
the bishop was kind enough to be reelected on the first ballot, which allowed for a great deal of extra time, which never materialized. And
Whereas.
the Reverend Dr. Jonathan Lindman opened our hearts and minds to prayer, praise, and proclamation, and whereas many years ago...
I'm supposed to say that.
And
Whereas.
many years ago at a Synod Assembly, Dr. Lindman taught Pastor Kuchenmeister Hall to do this. And
Whereas.
California University of Pennsylvania has so graciously hosted us and has provided us with a cafeteria that is not torn up for renovations, unlike another institution that we won't mention here, but whose name rhymes with Beal Bollage. And
Whereas.
you were slow on that one. And
Whereas.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day, unless you skip it, in which case it's not really much of anything, really. And
Whereas.
the secretary of the ELCA so graciously spent his time swartling among us these few days and swartled us through the re-election of the aforementioned bishop. And
Whereas.
the communion wine was disappointingly not fortified with grain alcohol. And
Whereas.
the Reverend Larry Camberg could benefit from remedial animal impressions lessons, along with Pastor Kuchenmeister Hall. Remedial, definitely. And
Whereas.
we had planned to thank the Assembly Planning Committee, but gave up on the idea after 6 meetings wherein we made no progress. And whereas the Reverend Robert Schaefer, who has the greatest airport pager voice we have ever heard,
There is no parking in the white zone. No parking in the white zone.
gave us permission to check out early and permanently. And whereas kilts don't have pockets, and
Whereas.
kilts don't have pockets, and
Whereas.
all of you listening to the reading of this undeniably rambling and unfocused resolution, which looks like it's going to run to about 733 words, have so bravely stuck it out all the way to Saturday morning and didn't bail out early, as seems to have been a popular option. Therefore, we're going to give you a new word. Your new word is resolved. Can you
Dissolved.
resolved?
Dissolved.
Resolved.
Dissolved.
No, you do it again.
Yeah.
That's resolved.
Dissolved.
Therefore be it
Resolved.
that the Synod Assembly Band, for which we are most grateful, be renamed the Assemblée Ensemble. And further be it
Resolved.
that Chaplain Joel Benson be recognized for giving us a new and vivid image of roadside compassion. And be it even further
Resolved.
to recognize Father Mario and all who work with the youth of this synod. And be it even further and further
Resolved.
that we pray that God grant patience and understanding to the shiny new pastors, the Reverend Terry Lynn Rothlanders and the Reverend Christopher J. Sear, as they will be further subjected to countless whereases and therefores in the course of their ministry. Therefore, it has evolved as a custom to include one tremendously long and convoluted sentence toward the conclusion of the annual assembly of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Synod, and therefore it has revolved through various hands through the years until finally the responsibility has fallen to the present committee. And therefore we are involved in expressing our gratitude to a whole pile of deserving people. Therefore, let's start thanking them. Music and worship leadership, those who take the minutes.
Oh, that's where all the extra time went.
The mission moment presenters, all those who work to make the Synod Assembly go smoothly.
Or at least made it go.
The bishop, the assistants to the bishop, the always unflappable administrative staff, officers of the Synod Council, the newly installed deans, everyone who subjected themselves to the election process, all the voting members,
Youthful and otherwise.
the sleeplessly prayerful youth convo, the visitors,
We know not why they came.
and all of the others that we should thank, but frankly at 11 o'clock at night couldn't think of, and all the members of the standing committees who are hereby asked to remain seated while everyone else gets up out of their chairs and claps for a bit, starting now. And here at the end of the whole thing, let it be resolved that our true gratitude goes to the one who has made known in the breaking of the bread and whose resurrection we run out into the world now to proclaim.
The motion is before you. I think I know who wants to second it.
Second!
All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. I'll call on the chair of the Committee on Minutes for the final report.